While I'm demonstrating the integration of Bill.com with Xero, I want to highlight another point that actually has come up quite a few times recently, which is what happens if, for example, I'm going to switch from my QuickBooks desktop software to one of the cloud solutions. There is an option where you can have Bill.com migrate the data for you. They will do that for you. When I called, I was under the impression it was free, but somebody else who posted about this in our ABO group said that they were told it would cost about $350. But then they called somebody else, and I guess that person said they'd do it for free. So I'm not sure what, if any, cost there is associated with that process. But here's what I recommend nonetheless. I recommend not bothering to migrate the data. For $50, you can get a CD with a backup of everything that was in your Bill.com account. My suggestion is when you move to the cloud solution, start a brand new company in Bill.com. And that's effectively what I'm going to do here. Rather than change the one that I just created to demonstrate the integration with QuickBooks Online, first of all, I'd have to wait because you have to contact Bill.com and have them change it. I would have to have them change it that way from QBO to Xero, right? So I don't want to wait because I don't like waiting. I'm an impatient guy and I want what I want and I want it now and I don't want to wait. So that's another excuse or another reason for just setting up a new company. And my understanding is even if you cancel the account, they can leave the data available and accessible by you right here on the web. It'll still be in your console. So let's add a new company, and this time we're going to call it schoolofbookkeeping.com. Funny how that works. And I'm going to put in my address information again, so let me not make you watch me do that. And again, we're going to assign software. We're going to choose Xero this time. And I'm going to once again check off Bill to Nerd Enterprises. We're also going to change this. I'm going to do this as though Nerd Enterprises is my own client. And I'm going to give myself permission. Thank you. Thank you, Seth. You're welcome. Save. Now we've got, so I've got two Nerd Enterprises, right? So got to be careful, got to make sure we're in the right one here. So it's probably fair to assume that the second one here is what we've got. So let's, if I click on the plan that it's in, let's agree. And see, there's the pricing. So because it's in the accountant's console, it's $30 a month plus $3 a user, right? And then if I send checks and invoices, it's $1.29 each. Pay and get paid electronically, 49 cents each. And then the credit card payments that I receive, whatever merchant fees apply, you can use PayPal, and you can use, they have I think it's called Vantage, is the merchant solution that Bill.com also integrates with. So let's go back to console. And then we're going to go into that company. I'm going to choose the bottom one. And one quick way for me to be sure about whether or not this is the right one is to check the inbox. So I can see already that I'm in the wrong one. So let's go to the other one. So what you may have noticed is, or you might notice is, when you're in a company and you go to the drop down, under My Companies, you will only see the companies that you're not actually in. So let's switch over. And rather than edit that out of the video, I kind of want you to see this. So let's go to the inbox here and make sure. And okay, perfect. So this is nice and empty. So now we're in the right one. And now what I'm going to do, in order to avoid any future confusion, is edit the name. Let's go to settings. Company profile. And here we're going to edit this. So we'll call this Nerd Enterprises Inc. Xero. So I know this is the one that's being synced to Xero, right? Okay, once you go in there, you have to finish filling out the required fields. And at the end of this video, I'm going to go over the settings area that you also really need to make sure you complete while you're doing this. But now let's accomplish the task that we set out to accomplish, which is that we want to get this integrated with Xero, right? So let's do that. Let's go to Settings, Overview. And let's go to Sync, Setup. And we're going to connect with Xero. And we'll click Connect. And Continue. So it's done through OneSAS, which is another one of these sort of app-to-app integration tools. There's many of them. There's If This Then That. There's Zapier, and then there's this. There's OneSAS. So I'm actually going to have to create an account with them, as you may well need to do, because I don't actually use OneSAS myself. Once I completed registering my OneSAS account, it took me back here to complete the integration. So now I'm going to connect to Bill.com by entering in my OneSAS login information. I take that back. I'm going to connect to OneSAS by following the instructions that it actually says, and it says enter your Bill.com login credentials. So let's do that. So now it warns me that the organization I've connected does not have the API enabled. I have to enable the API and retry or select a different organization. So let's see if I can select a different organization. It doesn't look like I can. So in my original approach at connecting Bill.com to Xero through OneSAS, I got an error message saying that I needed to enable the API. I paused the recording because I needed to research this. I'm poking around, and quite frankly, the documentation on this is not great. On either side, I checked both Bill.com and OneSAS. It looks like they haven't updated it because the essential key to this, from what I could tell, is no longer there in Bill.com. When they gave you the instructions, they said to go into the company profile and check off Allow Access to the API, but that option is not there anymore when I went to check it. So ultimately, the way I was able to resolve it was I actually once I tried and got the error, and then after poking around for a few minutes, I actually logged out of OneSAS. I closed the tab, and I went back into Bill.com, and once again, just went through the couple of steps in Bill.com, which you already saw, where it launches OneSAS, and this time it got me to this screen here. So it looks like it has the log of my previous attempt. So let's go to, but now it's looks like it's ready to go. So let's click Start Express Setup. And let's choose Xero. And it says we've successfully connected to Bill.com. So if you get that error, just log out of OneSAS, go back into Bill.com, and reconfigure it. So it confirms here we've successfully connected Bill.com to Xero. And then it says please navigate to Xero to approve service connectivity. So we'll sign into Xero. I'm already signed in. This is another reason why I think it's really important to make sure that you're signed in to the different websites for the softwares that you're trying to connect. And here it's going to ask me to authorize it. I need to make sure I'm authorizing it for the correct company. So here I'm going to authorize it for my Nerd Enterprises Inc. I just kind of labeled it partner because that's how I know that's my sort of my actual Nerd Enterprises account, because believe it or not, and I'm going to announce this publicly here, my plan is to move Nerd Enterprises file into Xero and actually take advantage of this. So I will connect it, and this will be my official connection. There's no data in this Xero file yet. So Bill.com sync powered by OneSAS is now enabled. You'll be redirected back to OneSAS.com. Integrate Bill.com with Xero in 1 second. And it's working. It's working on it. It's trying to redirect me. So, you know, again, the sync is pretty painless. I think, especially after having a video like mine, because I did the work for you in terms of figuring out how to get around that error. It looks like at some point you had to go into your settings in Bill.com and enable the API. It looks like that's gone, and now you're able to just do it. But if your experience is like mine, you might get that error, which means, again, just log out of OneSAS and then go back into Bill.com and do it again, and then it looks like it will allow us. And as a triple check, of course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a bill in Xero and see if it syncs up with Bill.com. We're still redirecting here. Okay, and now it wants me to select the integration. It says select integrations. And it looks like we are confirming everything: sales tax, chart of accounts. So these go one way from Xero to Bill.com. Contacts and vendors go both ways. Items both ways. Bills and invoices both ways. I love that. Bill and invoice payments go from Bill.com to Xero. So, and I guess that's the only choice. So that's cool. So you can click on these to select which integrations you want. I assume we would probably want to go with this default in most cases. Just keep them all on. But it's interesting to note that bill and invoice payments, will need to be established through Bill.com and sync to Xero. You can't record a payment in Xero and get it to sync to Bill.com. So good to know. Also, in the course of doing my own research on this, I did watch a video on the setup. Funny about how that works. I actually watch videos to learn how to make videos for you. And it looks like, and we'll find out in a minute also if that's changed, because like I said, it looks like some of the documentation, at least as of the time I'm recording this, May 2015, on this particular integration is outdated. And by outdated, I mean it's like 4 months old, but a lot can change in 4 months, especially these days with the cloud. So let's see what happens once I continue. So it's configured. I can reconfigure it. Over here, my organization starting date, we're going to say is January 1. And then we're going through the contacts, create contacts, push properties, create only contacts that have invoices. No, we'll do it all. Update contacts, delete contacts. So I pretty much want everything checked off on these kinds of things. I can always go back and uncheck things if I find out that for some reason I don't want it. But usually my philosophy on these things is use it all or have it all set up. If you don't need it, you don't need it. No big deal. Just scrolling through the options here. Our tax codes, for me, of course, it's all U.S. And then the account for purchased items. So again, these are just defaults. So these are for new inventory item properties. So the account for purchased items should be an inventory account, of course. And I may not even have that set up yet. So let's see if it'll let me ignore this for now. The account for sold items would, of course, be sales. I need cost of goods sold. There it is. I do have a cost of sales account called bookkeeping services. And that is because if I pay a bookkeeper, that's where I book that. So let's see if it'll let me come back to this. So that was push properties. So this is pushing from Bill.com to Xero. Pull properties. We're pulling from Xero to Bill.com. Right, so import invoices with statuses. Draft, no. Submitted and authorized is good. Paid. I'm going to check that off and say, yes, I want paid invoices to be completely in sync. And especially since I know I'm working with a company that's got no data in it, it's not going to cause it to bring in all kinds of unwanted old stuff. Import transaction type, sales and purchases, sure. Xero accounts receivable and payable, authorized invoices, only authorized paid invoices, perfect. And then new inventory items properties. So let's apply. And it's yelling at me it wants an account for sold items. And it looks like that's going to be a go. So we have Bill.com Nerd Enterprises Inc. and Xero Nerd Enterprises, my partner account. It looks like we've got that all connected here. So Bill.com to Xero appears to be set up. Let's go to Xero. Let's enter a bill. Let's go to accounts, purchases. So let's go over to OneSAS here. I may have to do it here. Let's click synchronize. It's thinking and working. And notice over here that it will automatically sync every 1 hour. And I have to upgrade for faster synchronizations, which means, of course, I'm going to have to pay them if I want it done faster. So it says it's completed with success. Notice down here. But ever the skeptic, I want to be sure. So let's go over to Bill.com and let's go to the inbox. And actually we want to go to bills, not the inbox. The inbox is something we're going to cover later. And there it is. It worked. It's beautiful. So my sync works. So the trick here, after you've set up the sync, is if you want to pay for faster synchronizations, you can pay OneSAS and you can upgrade for faster synchronizations. If you don't want to spend the money, there's no need to, because you can just come in here, log into your OneSAS account, and click synchronize anytime you want to. Outside of that, it'll do it automatically every 1 hour. So if you're not around at your desk working, then you're probably not really going to care anyway. But if you're going to want to go log in and pay bills, and you know that bills may have been entered into Xero, such that you'll want to sync up before you do your work, then you'll want to log in and just force the sync. Do your own push sync, basically, is what it is. So that, my friends, is how you synchronize Xero with Bill.com. There's a little bit involved in the setup, but once you get through that, it's actually really easy, and hopefully I've actually made the learning curve really short for you because, like I said, I went to the sort of trouble of learning how to do it for you, and now I've shown it to you, so now it should be really easy for you to do and set up and move on. We're going to look at one more thing here in section 1, which is going to deal with really what you need to complete in terms of setting up all your sort of preferences in Bill.com. I'll show you what that looks like in the next video, the final video for section 1 on integrating Bill.com with QuickBooks Online and Xero.